Hey, how you doing? H. Reed here. Welcome again to the HRJR Motivational Video Group. I finally got some feedback. Well, not so much feedback, but some topics people wanted me to discuss. One of them sent it through the inbox, so they get to remain anonymous. And the other person's topic you can see on the motivational group page. Let's address the inbox topic first. She asks me, why is it that when a man meets a single, beautiful, and independent woman, they think she's crazy or something is wrong with her? Well, that question's probably about as old as what's the meaning of life, but I'll give my shot at it. When a man meets a beautiful and independent woman, it really depends on how that woman is portraying herself. A man's going to be however a man's going to be. We're not going to get into that just yet. But it's about the aura that that woman generates. What vibes does she give off? Okay? Because there are women that are out there that, you know, they have their education, they have their job, they're professional about everything they do, and they're independent in the sense that they can and have the ability to provide for themselves. However, they still know that they need a man in their life, or they want to have a man in their life to more or less complete them. Not in the sense that the man has to do everything for them but just so that they could have somebody to love, somebody to hold. That's the purpose that I mean by completing. But then, and such women know how to make a man want them beyond just, you know, the physical, the sexual, that whole thing. They become a partner to that man. When that man proves himself worthy, of course, you know, they submit not in the slave type sense or subordinate type sense, but just submit of themselves in such a way that that man is comfortable going into that situation, and to some degree that man submits part of his self. That's what I believe makes a relationship really work and come together. But then you have those women who give off this different kind of vibe. They give off the vibe of, I'm independent in the sense that I don't need you. You know, I get my own car, I got my own job, I pay my own bills, I don't need a man to do anything for me. Well, then, if that's the vibe you give off, and even worse, what actually comes out of your mouth, then the dudes around pick that up. Whether you realize it or not, as simple creatures as we are, we pick that stuff up, okay? And we stay the hell away from it because we don't need that drama. If you're so independent that you don't need me for anything and you can pay your own bills, go rock on. Go ahead and pay your bills. You don't need me for anything. You got your batteries. Go ahead. Hey, power up. Duracell. Keep going and going and going. Energize, whatever. You know? So, for the most part, this one the ladies are going to have to wear just because of the way that the question is phrased. Why is it that when a man meets a single, beautiful, independent woman, they think she's crazy or something is wrong with them? First again, well, not so much first again, that doesn't make any sense. But let me say this. One of my cardinal rules, unofficial cardinal rules, is there are no absolutes. So, I don't believe everything fits everyone. Okay? Everything is not meant for everyone. Everyone may not agree with what I'm saying in this video. And that's okay. I'm not going to take offense to that. If you disagree, then obviously it doesn't apply to you. But that's not to say it doesn't apply to someone else. Because I have encountered these women. I have encountered women who got everything going on. Education, occupation, profession, their own car, their own house, all of this, and have beautiful, wonderful attitudes and happy relationships. And I've encountered the same type of women who are just lonely, bitter, and miserable because they don't have anybody and they're wondering why. They're wondering why every time they go out with their girls, they're the ones that drive, because chances are 2 or 3 of the other girls in the group are gonna get a ride home from wherever they go, if they go to the club or whatever. But she could bring her car because she's guaranteed to go right home to her house alone at the end of the night. Sometimes women give off crazy vibes. Sometimes women act a fool. You are not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and be Steve Harvey and just cater to your ego. All right? Fact of the matter is, sometimes women give off some crazy vibes. And a lot of times, dudes don't want to be involved with the drama. Especially if it's a dude who's just looking to, run around and have some fun or whatever, then it is what it is, and he'll decide whether or not he wants to get involved or not. When I had my little bit of dog day afternoon back in the day, there were sisters that I would intentionally avoid, not because they were crazy or anything, but because I knew I was about running around and having a good time, and those sisters were about their business, so I respected them enough to stay away from them and not involve them with any drama and not waste their time. So that's another thing that you should take into consideration. Sometimes there are dudes that know that they just out there running around for a little bit, sowing their wild oats, as it's called, and they may actually, you might like that person, but wonder why he's not dealing with you. Okay? And the reality is that brother might be staying away from you out of respect for you, because you about your business and he just running around having fun right now. So, there are a lot of dynamics that go into this. So there's no cookie cutter answer that's going to solve it all. The best thing that I could advise any woman to do is what I talked about earlier. Just be comfortable in yourself and understand that it's okay to have your education, your occupation, your profession, you pay your bills, got your own car, you can provide for yourself. That's all well and good. One of my favorite songs is the Neo and Jamie Foxx Miss Independent remix, She Got Her Own. That's one of my favorite songs. Okay? But at the same time, and that's a perfect song. If you listen to the words of that song, there's a lot of stuff in there that can help answer this question. Just be a woman. Be a woman. You know what I mean when I say be a woman, and I'm not talking about, going back to the honeymooners days where you got to be like Alice crammed in scrubbing the floors or anything. Be a woman. Be soft. Be sexy. Be vulnerable. Let a man be a man. It's a primal thing. When you break it down, it's a primal thing. Let a woman be a woman. Let a man be a man. And let nature take its course. As long as that man is respecting you, okay, and is even to some degree submitting himself to you, then you should respond in kind, because he's also hopefully bringing stuff to the table as well. So if he's bringing stuff to the table and you have the means to provide for yourself, or when you put your stuff together, then you make an even more powerful team. So why is it that when a man meets a single, beautiful, independent woman, they think she's crazy or something is wrong with them? Sometimes because they are crazy and something is wrong with them. There it is. And then other times, 1 or 2 of the people could just be stupid. Who knows? I hope that answers your question for you. If not, let me know, and we'll dig deeper into the issue. I have no problem readdressing issues and topics and going deeper into it as the discussion may require. Let's go into the next topic. My groove brother Kendrick wants me to talk about developing the ability to overcome negative comments from people that don't believe in your dream because of others that quit. Well, not everyone is going to succeed. There it is. Fact of life. Not everyone is going to succeed. There are going to be people who are going to start something and they're going to quit. And the reason why is because they're not committed to their success. How many times have you heard people say, or you yourself have said, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to wake up in order to get to work on time. I'm going to try to get to work on time. I'm going to try to go to the gym. That's my hardest one right there. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try. And anywhere, I would say from 70 to 90% of the time, whatever you try to do, you fail at. You don't follow through. You don't succeed at it. Why? Because they're not committed to succeeding. All right? And what happens is most people choose not to learn from their failures and their setbacks as well. So when you have a setback or you have a failure and you don't learn from it, you just go on to the next thing, and then that doesn't come through, and then the next thing doesn't come through, and then the next thing doesn't come through. Then you get disenchanted, you get discouraged, and you quit. Okay? And what also happens is you begin to create a shield or a wall around your heart and around your hopes, and you try to look out for the people that you say you care for by sometimes putting that wall around them as well. So when a friend comes to you and says, yo, I want to start this business teaching piano, what do you, I mean, you can play a little bit or whatever, but what do you know about teaching? That's them trying to put that wall around you, so you don't go out there and try to start a business teaching piano and have to deal with the heartbreak of failure. All right. In my book, Find a Way to Make a Way, I told you I was going to be plugging it. In my book, Find a Way to Make a Way, I write about these people. They're called bubble busters. Some people call them dream killers. In this aspect, these people don't have a larger vision for themselves, so how can they possibly have a larger vision for you? So what you have to do is you have to develop that's what it is, develop the ability to overcome the negative content, the comments. How do you do it? You just do. You have to. You can't do it. Well, tell me why I can't do it. Well, listen, my philosophy is, if the person who's telling you what you can't do hasn't done what you're trying to do, then they really have very little right to tell you what you can't do. If I want to go into investing in real estate, and I've made a few deals, and some of them were okay, and some of them were just flounders, and Donald Trump says, look, kid, you don't have it, well, then you got to take it and take that with some serious, credence, because it's Donald Trump, But if, the dude sitting at the barbershop who's more broke than me tells me I don't know anything about real estate, I need to give it up, I'm going to leave his broke ass sitting in the barbershop, So you have to really evaluate the caliber of people, one, that you keep around you. Two, you have to evaluate the quality of the stimulation and feedback and information that you get and get from these people, because 9 times out of 10 our own internal dialogue is negative. So why would you need any help from the outside world? Okay, I get that a lot. You don't want to listen to nobody. You think you know it all. It's not that I think that I know it all, but I do enough research in whatever it is that I'm trying to get into. Notice I said trying. I do enough research in whatever I'm committing myself to get into, to where if I want somebody's opinion, I'll ask for it. And as my wife always loves to tell me, just because I ask you for your opinion doesn't necessarily mean I have to follow it. So the most important thing you can do is just plan your work and work your plan. Because whether you succeed or fail, it's on you. And as long as you can take accountability for where you may have gone wrong in the process, if something like that were to happen, then you can still live with yourself. And don't worry, because those people that are out there hating, those people that are the bubble busters and dream killers, they'll be the first ones that see, I told you shouldn't have done it, when all you probably really had to do was tweak one little thing or here or there in the process. So just pay these people no mind, because when you blow up, they're just going to still be sitting in the barbershop or beauty salon or at home in front of the television probably someday watching you want it. That's how I look at it. You know, I turn my haters into motivators. You know, there's going to be another video on that, so let me just digress at this point. At this point, oh yeah, I think I answered both topics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this video out. And again, if you have any topics, the rest of you watching, if you have any topics you want for me to discuss, give my opinion on, something that we could chop up and talk about, dissect, discuss. Hey, I might have an opinion and you might have an opinion and your opinion might change my opinion. And don't think I'm not afraid to put that out there if that's what happens. I think that one of the main problems with the way society is that one, people don't communicate enough, and two, people don't communicate honestly. And I have various ways of communicating with various people. Some ways I do it with this video. Some ways I email. Sometimes I put a video in an email. I'll write a letter, But the communication is key. And understand that everybody doesn't have to agree. That's the big thing. We don't have to agree with each other. But we can disagree without being disagreeable. And we can agree to disagree and still maintain a relationship, a friendship of sorts. So when people begin to get off their own personal high horses and come to that understanding, I think, the world will be a much better place. But until then, well, we'll just keep going at it as best as we can. This is H. Reed. I hope you enjoyed this. I know this was longer than most videos, but it was worth it, I think. Take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.